Hello, hello, hello. This is Lumpia together with,
Esau and
Turon,
and this is a commentary for the National Schools Press Conference.
where we embark on hot discussions one at a time.
in this commentary we will be having a Discord and slide chat of ideas all about the rising suicide cases amongst teenagers in Cagayan de Oro here in Mind Over Matter.
Okay, so to start this podcast, I would like to ask a question to Esau. So, Esau, if you wouldn't mind telling us, have you been in good terms with your mental health lately?
I mean, mental health, and I'm in good terms with it. And the main struggles that I have is that sometimes lately, I sleep later than usual than my usual bedtime, and that's the main issue that I experience.
Especially due to the pandemic, right? Okay, so how about
Right.
you, Turon?
Now, I would say that I'm with the same with Esau, about the sleeping late because the main reason right now is stress about something, which is
Yeah,
quite, yeah, it's a personal matter.
exactly. Okay, I've also developed an unhealthy sleep schedule lately due to movies, summer, and break. So I've been inclined to sleeping late because it's quieter and all. But okay, so this topic that we will be having for today is not light. It's not at all light. It is a very serious and heavy topic, especially because it involves teenagers like us or even teenagers younger than us, right? So, what exactly is going on in Cagayan de Oro? So, here in Cagayan de Oro, it's not something, it's not a subject for praise, so it shouldn't be advertised. But there have been a surge in not just any surge, but a surge in suicide cases within teenagers, amongst teenagers in the city, and it's very alarming because it is all happening very fast. Example, uh, the intervals of suicide are like 3 days apart, 4 days apart, 1 week apart, and all that. And it's very
Mm.
alarming because the ages of these students are teenagers. So because of teenagers not having enough interventions, despite local psychosocial services saying na they're doing everything they can, but I think the numbers suggest otherwise. So it's quite sad. Not just sad, but also alarming.
Okay, so the main issue here is that journalists or like media practitioners, like when they cover suicide cases, they give a detailed description on the incident, and this can encourage like the other youth that already have suicidal tendencies, and they're doing the complete opposite of what they should do. They should inform the public and educate them that they should avoid this, like not really, like they should report it in a way like they should inform it, because if they really show a detailed description, it gives others ideas to, it kind of
Exactly.
encourages them.
Mm,
Instead they should like censor it or like just show which information to show, since suicide is a sensitive topic.
very sensitive. Especially because we don't know how to control much of our emotions. And it's not like the media is always reporting, like, okay, it's not like the media is directly encouraging suicide. But the point is that the media is explaining it, diba? Like word for word. They're explaining it word for word, even though they should not, because that indirectly places something in the minds of teenagers.
Okay, so in addition to what Esau said, according to Maria Dolores Mercado, a mental health program coordinator at the Department of Health with the the very detailed reports of the media of in regards to the suicidal cases, it could result in a more copycat situation or a domino effect. Because of course, with their detailed reports, they would explicitly say the methods in which the suicide case happened, and instead of educating the general public, um
Mm,
they're explicitly saying a detailed description. So it would show to people that I the suicide is easy and very accessible like that.
Mm.
So according to Jamie Leonen Pagaspas, a head psychologist in the psychological division of the city's social welfare and development, depression depression is one of the most disabling diseases worldwide, and it is crucial to acknowledge that it is a social plague, which means all members of the society should help prevent suicides and participate in the active campaign to promote mental health. Because, the problem with I wouldn't really say that almost all the millennials here, like some lang, right now in this generation, sometimes disregard the feelings of the teenagers or maybe some of the adults as well, where they
Mm.
share how they feel, or like they feel depressed, and some would say that, why are you depressed, you have a house and something like that, right?
exactly.
Teenagers often hear that as well from their parents if they do share their feelings.
Like they say that you're able to eat daily. Why homeless people are not depressed? Why should you be depressed? You should be grateful for what you have.
Yes.
Instead, it's like they make the issue. They it's like they make it not an issue when in truth it should be acknowledged and that they should not just disregard it.
Yes, in addition to that,
Exactly.
also, parents have very high expectations for some of their children. Like, for example, their kids are very smart, so they expect their child to always be on top of their class. And if they don't achieve the expectations that their parents gave to them, they would be like they would be classified as a failure, something like that, right? Because the
Mm,
pressure is very high. So the stress will sometimes affect the child's mental health. So even a
mm.
small mistake, they would classify that as a failure in their part already.
These back to the cases of suicide in CDO. These are not new. Although it's not exactly like, oh, because they're not new, they're not surprising, they're not alarming. No, because although they're not new, the people involved here are not just ordinary citizens. They are students, they are studying, and more often than not, the reason for these suicide cases, as disclosed by some, are academic pressures, struggles in school, and all that. And it's not a new thing only because in the pandemic, there were also surges in suicide around northern Mindanao. And so that gives you sort of like, that tells you something about the situation of mental health here in the Philippines, and how Filipino like how Filipinos love to spread the stigma, or they just love to invalidate. It's a culture, and I'm not saying that it's right. What I'm actually saying is it's the opposite of what should be done. And with that, thank you for tuning in to this commentary segment, Mind Over Matter.
As we expand our knowledge towards significant sectors, may we harness it for the greater good.
Together, let us go through every topic with complete objectivity and clear judgments.
Bye!
Bye!
Bye!